Now, Lucy Letby is possibly the most notorious serial killer of modern times, convicted of killing 7 babies at the Countess of Chester Hospital and attempting to kill 7 others. She'll probably spend the rest of her life in prison. But for some time now, a small but growing number of experts have been raising concerns about her 2 trials, claiming that vital evidence may have been misinterpreted. Others insist that much of the debate is misguided. Katie Barnfield's here now. Katie, let's just start by talking about some of the concerns which have been raised. Essentially, they've covered a number of key areas, haven't they?
They have. So in the original case against Lucy Letby, there was medical evidence indicating that she'd given insulin overdoses to 2 babies and injected air into others. There was also a rota which showed her on duty for every suspicious collapse or death between June 2015 and June 2016. Now, that chart was a key part of the prosecution case, but some statisticians are unhappy about it because they say it doesn't give the full picture. One of those is Professor Peter Green. He's a former president of the Royal Statistical Society.
So this chart appears to be very convincing, but there are a number of issues with it. A big thing is that it only describes 25 of the bad events that happened in this period. It doesn't include any of the events that happened when Lucy was not on duty. The problem is that humans are very good at seeing patterns when they're not really there.
Well, we know there were at least 6 other deaths and other collapses. We've also spoken to a forensic toxicologist who said the test for the insulin wasn't robust enough for a court case and should have been verified. Others also question the charge that Letby injected air into babies' blood vessels, claiming there just isn't enough evidence for that. Now, it is worth pointing out that the defence called no expert witnesses in the original trial, but 6 experts testified for the prosecution, in particular retired paediatric consultant Dr. Dewey Evans. Dr. Evans told us he'd referenced 18 research papers on air embolism and also pointed out that his findings were backed up in court by others. He added that the cases on the rota were there because, after reviewing all the deaths and collapses, he thought only they were suspicious or unexpected, and he hadn't known at that point it had been Letby on duty.
Now, Lucy Letby had already tried to appeal her convictions, hadn't she? But this was rejected by the Court of Appeal.
It was, yes. The Crown Prosecution Service have pointed out that in May, the Court of Appeal dismissed Letby's leave to appeal on all grounds. We've also been talking to a defence barrister. He's Tim Owen Casey, and he told us so far he's not seeing any new evidence. He's also picked up on this point that many have made about the case being circumstantial. In other words, no one definitively saw Lucy Letby committing a crime. He thinks that doesn't prove anything.
People often say, well, circumstantial evidence can't prove guilt. That's simply not true. A circumstantial case can be a powerful case, but in order to understand it, you have to look at the totality. You can't just pick one little bit and then say, oh, look at that, that's unreliable, or that doesn't prove anything.
Now, it is worth saying that none of the experts that we've interviewed is giving a view on whether Lucy Letby was guilty or not, simply about whether the trial itself was fair, which is a very different thing.
Katie, thanks so much for your time.